the money, because money cannot disappear in a system.
Thank you.
Because peace is very, very wanting. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Kiara.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, thank you. Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in the concern of this matter of EMIS and what is happening in this republic. We may keep blaming the directors of education, we may keep blaming everyone else, but the bottom line is our teachers who are running these schools, they are really suffering. Because when the data does not capture the reality in the schools, the money that trickles down to these schools is dismally very little money. And at the end of the day, it is the students who suffer. The teachers don't know what to do. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to say, let the Education Committee be head on with the Ministry of Education so that we know what exactly happens at the ministry headquarters before we really blame on the education or at the sub-county level, because the buck stops in the office of the person who is responsible of overseeing the Ministry of Education.
Thank you.
We stop apportioning blame. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
And lastly, the Honorable Arikosgei on this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If every member had an opportunity to contribute, the story will be the same across the country. And Mr. Speaker, technology is meant to help and to solve complex issues. Which is this technology that derails that function, Mr. Speaker? I think, Mr. Speaker, it is fair that you give a direction that within a specific period of a month, for example, the Ministry of Education goes out to clean and to capture every student in the Republic of Kenya and come with a confirmation to this House that every student schooling in the Republic of Kenya is now captured in NEMIS, so that we close this matter once and for all.
The Honorable Ngruz.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this time to add my voice on the issue that is discussed on the floor of this House. Mr. Speaker, the issue that's coming up here is a very important issue that's really affecting the learners in our schools. Mr. Speaker, it's really discouraging that we have a whole ministry with so many employees, so many top officials, but they cannot account for the number of students in our schools. And Mr. Speaker, this has made really running of our schools very difficult. Sometimes even keeping the students in our schools is really becoming a big problem, because managing our schools without having the real number, without complying with the resources that are supposed to go down to the schools, becomes very difficult to manage our schools, Mr. Speaker. And this has really affected the learning, because sometimes even taking care of the students without having the right resources, because of the number that's being submitted by the ministry, is really a shocking story to this country. So, Mr. Speaker, we want to task the Ministry of Education that the number of the students should always tally with the number that is in the NEMIS, because that will reflect on how much resources will go down to the schools. Another problem, Mr. Speaker, is that if the system is really not working and it's not adding up, why don't we have a parallel manual program that the ministry can capture the number of students per school, such that at a certain point they can be able to compare the number in the NEMIS and also have a manual register which can capture all the students in a school. Because you can imagine, you can have 1,000 students in a school, but in the NEMIS you can have less than 300. So who will account for the number that's missing? So, Mr. Speaker, something needs to be done.
Thank you.
And the Ministry of Education should be up to the task.
The Chair of Education Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I agree with the sentiments of the members, and I want to give a brief, just short story, and I want to say my former chair education, before the introduction of NEMIS, they were using, Honorable Sabina Chege is here. Before the introduction of NEMIS, they were using leaflets and papers from schools to ascertain the number of students in those schools. After our visit to the US, and we saw the US charter schools, that is when NEMIS was introduced. And we realized that there was a complete mismatch between the list brought by the principal to the Ministry of Education and the actual students on the ground, because they were just adding it up. But now with the introduction of NEMIS, other issues have arisen. And I want to tell the House that about in June this month, the new principal secretary launched chemis. And they brought in chemis because of the inability of NEMIS to capture all the student data. So I want to say this, Honorable Speaker, that what I've read here and what the committee has tasked the ministry to do is to ensure that chemis is functional and running before the end of September. And then two, the issues of money not remitted to schools is actually what this House has been telling the minister, the committee has been telling the minister, and we are putting him to task every time. It's not only capitation, even money for sports, even money for music. We are having issues on their disbursement to schools. So, Honorable Speaker, I rest the case there. Thank you.
The Honorable, no. We will not allow any further discussion on this matter. My direction is this: we will not take, because the Honorable Chair has just introduced a new confusion. Yes. That there's NEMIS, now there's chemis, we don't know. So the direction, order. The direction I'm giving on this matter is that the Cabinet Secretary for Education shall come to the House the week we resume. Most particularly, the Wednesday of the week we resume after recess, with a specific role, nothing else, to explain to the House on the system for registration of students in our schools. Yes. No other subject. Yes. So that we get to know. We don't want to hear it from a fellow member of parliament. We want to hear, is NEMIS still there or is not there? And what is chemis? So that we members leave the House knowing the system that we're using to register students in our schools, so that we don't have so many questions coming out on this. And it's so ordered. Next order.
Order number 8, the Breastfeeding Mothers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2024, second reading. Question to be put.
Order. Now, honorable members, debate on this motion, or this bill, was completed last week, and I now put the question. Order. I now put the question that the Breastfeeding Mothers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2024, be now read a second time. Will as many other opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many other contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to make provision for breastfeeding mothers, to provide for employers' obligations towards breastfeeding working mothers in the workplace, to provide for baby changing facilities for use by the public and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 9, the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023, second reading. Question to be put.
Members, debate on this bill also completed, and I now put the question. Order. I now put the question that the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2023, be now read a second time. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the County Governments Act to increase the threshold for removal of a member of a county executive committee and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 10, motion, expression of concern on the Middle East conflict. Question to be put.
Oh, members, I should remember the debate on this motion was also completed last week, and therefore, let members have a chance to vote either way. Order. Oh, members, the motion is on expression of concern on the Middle East conflict. That, aware that Kenya ratified the United Nations Charter on Human Rights on 31st July 1990, and further recollecting that among the rights enshrined in the Charter is the right to life and self-determination by people, cognizant of the fact that Israel occupation of Palestine territory in Gaza and the West Bank has been characterized by disproportionate and indiscriminate use of force, concerned that this has deepened the humanitarian crisis in the region, including the destruction of infrastructure, widespread civilian casualties, and the willful killing of Palestinian civilians, including children in the occupied territories by the Israeli army, noting that these grave breaches amount to war crimes, flagrant violations of international humanitarian law, and crimes against humanity, concerned that the recent escalation of hostilities between Israel and Iran, including cross-border strikes and retaliatory attacks, threatens to engulf the wider Middle East region in conflict, recalling that Kenya has previously suffered attacks on its soil as a result of the Middle East conflict, including the 2002 attack on the Paradise Hotel in Kampala, appreciating that United Nations General Assembly recently passed a resolution demanding an end to Israel's unlawful occupation of Palestinian territories and urging compliance with international law, further appreciating the urgent need for international community, including regional powers and the United Nations Security Council, to intensify diplomatic efforts aimed at achieving an immediate ceasefire, facilitating humanitarian access, and initiating inclusive peace negotiations in the Middle East. Appreciative of the role Kenya has played regionally and internationally in global peace initiatives and in mitigating violations constituting crimes against humanity, and in solidarity with the Palestinian civilians subjugated by Israel, this House now expresses deep concern over the dangerous escalation in hostilities in the Middle East and threatens international peace and security across the Middle East and beyond. 2, reaffirms Kenya's proactive commitment to a peaceful resolution of disputes through negotiation, diplomacy, and adherence to the principles of the United Nations Charter. 3, urges all parties to the conflict to protect civilian lives and infrastructure in accordance with the Geneva Conventions and international humanitarian law, and to exercise maximum restraint and immediately cease further acts of aggression, including aerial bombardments, missile strikes, and other forms of military escalation. And 4, calls on the international community, including the United Nations and regional powers, to intensify diplomatic efforts aimed at escalation and restoration of dialogue and a return to the frameworks of international law. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the opinion say nay? Ayes have it. Order.
Order number 11, motion, consideration of Senate amendment to the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2022. Question to be put.
Oh, members, order. Order. Oh, members, we're in business of the House, so you'll have to be orderly. Debate on this bill, of this motion, was also completed last week, and therefore proceed to put the question that the Senate amendment to the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2022, be now considered. Will as many other opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many other opinions say nay? Ayes have it. Well, members, before we proceed with the next order, join me in welcoming students from the following schools seated in the public gallery: Ramu Girls Secondary School, Mandera North; Ramu Day Secondary School, Mandera North; Takaba Boys Secondary School, Mandera West; Sheikh Ali High School, Mandera North; Kandolo Comprehensive School, Kilome, Makueni; and Ngutu Primary School, Tigania East, Meru County. The students are in the public gallery, and they are welcomed for our proceedings this morning under the House of Parliament. The Honorable Bashir, and you do the honors for all the schools.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all the schools that have visited the National Assembly this morning, and I want to urge them that it is a place of honor, and you will learn a lot. In particular, I want to send my facilitation to Sheikh Ali High School, Ramu Girls, Ramu Day, and my neighboring school of Takaba. And I ask them that join us in seeing what Parliament and parliamentarians can do. And I'm sure that as you grow up, you'll be able to take up some of the roles that we do here currently. And I'm sure you came back from the music festivals and you did very well, and congratulations at the same time. So you are most welcome to the National Assembly and within the Precincts of Parliament. Enjoy your time. Welcome, all of you.
Oh, members, as you're aware, the students are here to visit us. It's not a business of the House, and they're all welcome for the proceedings. Next order. Honorable Tubi, what is out of order?
Mr. Chairman, I was here yesterday, and I raised an issue with the Speaker, Mr. Farah Malim. The issue is that 3 weeks ago, I asked for a statement from this House, from the Minister in charge of security, the Chairman. And then it was selected for the 1 week, the week following the end of recess last time. And that one is over. Now we are going into another recess. And that's a matter concerning Isiolo, on the issue of whatever is happening in Isiolo, which is known by everybody, which has happened. Chaos is happening in Isiolo. And that chaos has something to do with the impeachment of the governor. Isiolo is ungovernable. Isiolo has problems. People are being killed here, left, right, center, and nothing is happening. And we have tried to ask about that, and then that question has not been answered to date. And now, yesterday I was promised it's going to be brought today, and it's not in the order paper, both of you.
Hey, Honorable Tubi, I think your concern is noted. You may be aware that the relevant committee is this morning conducting a vetting exercise on nominees for National Police Service Commission, but they'll be in the House in the afternoon. And as I'd said earlier in the morning, that even the CS for Interior will be here in the afternoon. So just be in the House and raise these matters at the right time in the afternoon today. That is, there's nothing to respond to, Honorable Tubi. I've just communicated that the committee, the relevant committee, is, as we speak, conducting a vetting exercise on the nominees to the National Police Service Commission. That's why the chair is not in the House. We know that he'll be in the House in the afternoon. We also know that the CS for Interior will be in the chamber in the afternoon. So my advice to you is that be in the House in the afternoon to raise these issues with both of them. You are accordingly advised. Next order.
Order number 12, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, please, those who wish to participate in the Committee of the Whole House, please take your seats. So, honorable members, we are considering the Senate amendment to the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2022. By the Honorable Kingara. Kingara, you're in the House. I can see you're seated in your place.
Senate amendment to clause 3.
I propose the question that Senate amendment to clause 3 be now approved. There is no amendment to this, so I now put the question that the Senate amendment to clause 3 be now approved. As many as of that opinion say aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. That is all. We have come to the end. I would like now to call upon the mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Senate amendment to the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2022, and its approval thereafter without amendment.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Senate amendment to the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2022, and its approval thereof without amendments. As many as of that opinion say aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, we are going now to consider the second bill, consideration of the President's reservation to the Cancer Prevention and Control Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 45 of 2022. This bill is by the Honorable Rahim Dawood. I can see you are seated in the House. Let's proceed.
President's reservations to clause 2.
I propose the question that the President's reservation to clause 2 be now approved. Chair? Chair Health, the Honorable Dr. Nikal.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that clause 2 of the bill be deleted as proposed by His Excellency the President. Chairperson, clause 2 of the bill is proposed. It proposed to introduce the definition of the terms e-health and telemedicine to the Principal Act. The two terms are already defined in the Digital Health Act, and therefore the bill may cross-reference to the terms as defined in the Digital Act, and that is the rationale for that deletion as from the President. Thank you.
Let me first of all propose the question, then we can go to debate. I propose the question that clause 2 be deleted as recommended by His Excellency the President. Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, this bill of mine is of 2022, and what the President is talking about, the Digital Health Act, is for 2024 or 2025, and we passed this bill on 15th of April 2024. So I do not see the rationale of deleting my clauses. A bill which has taken more than 2 years to come to fruition, and it's just being now thrown to the dogs. So I think Article 115 has not been used properly, and the Majority Leader should take the concerns of this House, because there is no point of members of Parliament working on bills and then they are just being thrown out on actions which should not have been there, because my bill was passed before the digital bill. So, Madam Speaker, I oppose this, and it should go on record to the Speaker and the majority that this is not the way to treat members of Parliament, because there is no point in doing a bill for 2 years. And even the Ministry of Health was involved in this bill.
Yeah, we fully hear you, but you know what you require to be able to oppose. Yes, I'll give you a chance, Majority Leader. I can give you another minute to finalize.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I understand I need 2/3, and that is why I'm saying there is mischief was done in the Constitution with Article 115 and even Article 223, which is being misused currently. So, Madam Speaker, until we get to change those articles, I know my hands are tied by the Speaker's memorandum. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, and you know, to change the Constitution, you also, it's a long process through a referendum. But I would like to state facts, because facts are important in this House, that this bill was concluded in this House not in 2022, but in 2024, April. And because of the bicameral situation of this House, it also had to go to the Senate. And it has been there for a long time, up to, I've requested the table to give us the exact month, but it is mid-2025. So this House has not made any mistake. We are just following the process. And you are right, even to oppose, it's your right. I would like to give a chance to the majority leader, but then I'll still go back to the chair before we put the question. Proceed, Honorable Baya.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that is what democracy is about, Honorable Dawood. That you have a constitution which you have to abide by. I also had my bill here in the same floor of the House. It went for assent. It got a presidential memorandum of reservation, and it came back here. And somehow, because we can't really marshal, otherwise, because of democracy, we should be able to marshal 2/3 and torpedo that the presidential memorandum, but because we cannot. And I want to fully agree with Honorable Dawood. This House is the House that makes laws legislatively. We have the power to do that. But somehow, this Constitution mutilated the power of this House by introducing 115 as a safeguard. But then now we are having the executive make law. Actually, that's what we are having here, that the executive now is making law, which is not their preserve, Honorable Speaker. And if the executive has issues with the law that we are passing, they should bring it through the ministries before we even pass. But to allow Parliament to go through the whole hog to pass the law, then actually, what I have learned is the ministers go to the president and tell him, please don't sign because of this and that. And then a memorandum is brought to the House. But this is input from actually the executive. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this. I've been in this House now this is my second term. In the previous term, I think we had only 1 or 2 presidential memorandum. Meaning, therefore, the cabinet members and ministers were working very well with Parliament to ensure we pass the right law. But now, what we're having now in the executive is lazy members who do not make input until they realize a law has been passed, then they run and block assent. Honorable Speaker, this is bad manners. And I want to tell the executive, please participate fully when the law is here. The law allows us to do public participation, to consult with ministries. They should come on board during that time so that at that moment we do not get an opportunity where the president sends a memorandum. Right now, I think we have the memorandum that was for my bill. There's a memorandum that is for your bill. There's a memorandum for the member for Lamu East. And I think there's also another one. We are having a lot of memorandums coming in. This shows there's a problem. And I want to ask the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi's office, the Chief Cabinet Secretary, who have the parliamentary office, to ensure they do their job, to avoid this situation, Honorable Speaker, where a law goes to State House for assent and it is brought back. I think we are working backwards, and I think that should not happen. But Honorable Dawood, you have to bite the bullet on this one. We can pass this one. 6 months after, you can bring a same amendment and use the same whip to change the law. I'll urge you to do that. Otherwise, because you can't marshal the 2/3, Honorable Dawood, we have to pass the law.
I think you have done your part. I think you're trying to make justification that you've also gone through the same process. But who do you want to inform, Honorable Dawood?
Ourselves.
No, before you inform the chair, I'll give you a chance to inform him, but I would like to give a chance to the chair on the deletion.
Chair, what has been stated is what the law is. We have said here many, many times that the Constitution has given the executive the opportunity to make law, even if we call it through the back door. But unfortunately, that's what it is. But there's another issue that we look at, is the processes, how we handle our process, the speed with which. In my view, what happened in this case is that the time it took, the Digital Health Act came behind this, moved on, and was signed. So by the time this bill is getting, the vellum is getting before the president, the Digital Act is already a law. Therefore, reference can be made to it. If it had gone before the Digital Health Act, in my view, what would have been sent back would have been the Digital Health Act with the information that what you are referencing to is already in the law. So I think our processes we must also be careful what they do to our bills.
Thank you, Chair. There is a point of information from the Honorable Dawood. Would you like to be informed?
Information kills nobody. Let me hear the information.
Okay, please go ahead and inform the Honorable Dr. Nikal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, this bill was back from the Senate last year in November, and the Health Committee accepted the changes early, I think, in February. So it came back from the Senate last year, not this year, May, as you have been told by the clerk. So that is the information I want to pass.
Anyway, thank you very much. But for the record, we have consulted, and this is the order of events. This bill was passed by the National Assembly on the 24th of March. On 27th of March, 2024. It was passed by the National Assembly on that day, passed by the Senate and returned on the 16th of November, 2024. 26th November 2024. Senate amendments also passed on 15th of April 2025, and now we have received the reservations from the President on the 1st of July 2025. So that's how it is in terms of order of events. But most important is that we need to put the question and make a decision. So, honorable members, I now put the question that clause 2 be deleted as proposed by His Excellency the President. As many as of that opinion say aye. As many of a contrary opinion say nay. The nays. The ayes have it. You do not have the numbers.
President's reservations to clause 3.
Honorable members, now let's proceed to the next one. I propose the question that clause 3 be deleted as proposed by His Excellency the President. Honorable members, I would like to take that again. I propose the question that the President's reservation to clause 3 be now approved. Chair, Health.
Honorable Chair.
Chair, Health, I hope you have the brief.
Yes, I ask.
Okay, thank you. Proceed.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that clause 3 be deleted as proposed by His Excellency the President. Chair, clause 3 of the bill seeks to amend section 5 of the Principal Act by inserting new paragraphs. The two insertions on the functions of the National Cancer Institute are promoting use of e-health, telemedicine for the prevention and management of persons with cancer, and promoting the treatment of persons with cancer as component of primary health care. These provisions are already covered under section 3 and on objects of the Digital Health Act. So once again, we have exactly the same situation as in the first place. And the committee did decide this, and the committee noted that and agreed with that.
Thank you very much. Let me propose the question first. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 3 be deleted as recommended by His Excellency the President. I allow the Honorable Ocheng.
I used to support the reservation, but we need to be clear so that members know what we are dealing with, Honorable Speaker. That at this stage, even if we were 232, and all of us said nay, it doesn't matter. So that this is gotten correctly, and no one reads this in a wrong manner. Remember, there was a situation where we had here with the Honorable Minister for Defense. We are dealing with a similar matter. There was pandemonium in the House, and it's clear that for us to be able to overturn the president's intervention, we must raise the requisite numbers. So we can, all of us in the House today, say nay. It won't matter. I think this needs to go on the record so that members don't, mislead their constituents or the public. That for us to overturn these interventions, we must raise 233 members of parliament. So even if you're 232 of us, and all of us say...
Deputy Majority Leader, please sit. I'm so sure the Honorable Cheng is feeling intimidated. So please proceed.
No, he wouldn't. This one came to parliament after Aaron came, so he wouldn't intimidate me. So it has to be clear on that, and I agree with the Honorable Bayer that we should use this tool sparingly. The tool that is the presidential reservation should be used extremely sparingly, and above all, it should not be used to stifle a law that has been passed by Parliament. Honorable Chair, I always mourn. It's a bill I brought to this House 3 times. It was passed. In those 3 times, went to the President, and I was told about the President's interventions and he will resign 1 year later. And that's why I believe that even us as Parliament, we should try to get a way of disciplining this. Otherwise, the body that makes law is Parliament, not the Presidency. And we should try to ensure that the issues that come with the President are, in my opinion, extreme circumstances, exceptional circumstances, unforeseen circumstances, not any matter willy-nilly. I support, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I have a point of order from a member for Kilgoris. What exactly is out of order?
It's just a point of order because I wanted to add on to what our friend...
But would you like me to give you a chance to contribute instead of adding?
No. It's just a point of order. That actually to emphasize the fact that it is always a default position. The default position is that the ayes have it. If the Speaker is not clear, or if the Speaker knows that the eventual answer is that they are not 2/3, even if they had more voices saying nay, the default position in this petition is they have it. The ayes have it. And it's as sympathetic as this problem might be, because apparently I always thought the Honorable Bayer, being a very strong leader from Kilifi of the UDA party, has a lot of access to His Excellency the President. This position, the leader of majority should have access, because if the voice of the advisors becomes stronger than that of the leader of the majority, it is going to have a lot of problems. Because maybe it's not even the cabinet secretary, maybe it's the advisor who went and said this thing should not be like this. And we'll be getting legislation from State House instead of getting legislation from this House.
Thank you. Honorable members, we are not debating. We are in the committee of the whole House. You can only say something if I give you a chance. And I'd given you a chance to say something before. Well, you'll say something after the majority leader. Yeah.
Chair, I want to draw this House to the time when the current Cabinet Secretary for Defense, Honorable Soipan Tunya, was on the seat where you are. And we were handling the presidential memorandum reservation on the finance bill. I think it was on charging a tax on SMS and 3 items that the President had brought in as a reservation. And I remember I was a very faithful member of ODM. And when this matter came up, we actually marshaled the numbers, if you remember, Simba. We marshaled the numbers, and we said we were ready. And because we did not want those reservations, and we had said for the first time we want to torpedo a presidential memorandum. What happened is that we lacked the numbers, I think, by 5 people. 5 people. And when the question was put, everybody said nay in this House. But the Honorable Soipan Tunya, because she was aware of the rule 115, she said the nays have it. No, she said the ayes have it. And it became pandemonium. And the media and everybody else highlighted it and said that Soipan had made a mistake. But she was right. And when I sat there, I remember J.B. Muturi asked me one question. He said, Owen, how many were you? I said we were 230. So is it wrong that Soipan Tunya did what she said? I said she was not wrong. She was right. So I want to tell my ladies here, we don't have the numbers. We don't have the numbers to torpedo a presidential. What Dawood should have done from yesterday was to have marshaled 233 members here. That's what he should have done. He's a wealthy, very well-connected man. And he would have used his position to influence every member to be in the House so that we can actually raise 234.
Thank you, Honorable Baya. The Honorable Dawood.
Chair, I believe you've got the memorandum in front of you, and I've got it in front of me. It is flawed, and it is inaccurate in the sense, if you read the fourth line, it says the Cancer Prevention and Control Amendment Bill 2025. My bill is 2022 and not 2025. And then you have even said that this bill was passed in March 2024, whereas the President is mentioning 15th of April 2024. So I think we're probably not talking about the same bill, because my bill is the Cancer Prevention and Control Amendment Bill of 2022 and not of 2025.
Order,
Chair.
order, Honorable Dawood. I do not want you to mislead this House or even mislead the public. I would like you to go to that memorandum and read the first paragraph. And the first paragraph is clear. We are talking about the Cancer Prevention and Control Amendment Bill 2022.
Chair, if you let
so
me.
we do not have 2025.
It is
and you
there.
know, if we mislead, there is no need of misleading the public. You still have another opportunity to make laws in this House. Yes, I'll allow you.
Chair, if you allow me, the heading is the Constitution of Kenya, referral of the Cancer Prevention and Control Amendment Bill of 2025. That is what it says. And it's not me. This has been signed in the office of the clerk, stamped, received on 30th June. So are we talking about the same? You know, subsequent can be there, but there are errors in this memorandum. And these errors cannot go just like that. Maybe the President needs to be told to redo it again. I know I cannot marshal 233 members. That is out of question. Even if I were able to, I know half of them would not vote for it. And I don't have an issue. But this thing is flawed, Chair, and it should be brought back, taken back to State House and brought back properly.
Listen. You know, Honorable Dawood, you are in your third term, and I know that this doesn't happen every other day. And it is also a learning process for all of us, not just for you. So when you look at the Cancer Prevention and Control Amendment Bill 2022 is as per publication in that year. But now when you go up, if this was going to become an act, it will be 2025. So there is no error at all. This document is in order, and I'm going to give the last opportunity to the member for Makueni. Is it you had your hand up? No, it is the member for Machakos. You will be the last one, and then we put the question.
Chair, mine is just I've looked around, understanding Order 35. We do not have enough quorum in the House to continue with this meeting. We don't have quorum.
Just come. I don't want you to leave because when she has already said that, the laws, you can approach. What is out of order before I make the statement?
Honorable Speaker, it's okay, it's within the rights of the member to say that. But also, so that because this is a learning process and we learn as we proceed, you need a presidential memorandum and Article 115. And I want members to read the Constitution. Whether we debate here and agree and do not agree, it takes precedence.
Order, Honorable. Order, Honorable Wenbaya. Now, I order that the bell be rung for 10 minutes. Unfortunately, the member for Taita Taveta, you cannot work out, so please come back. So let the bell be rung for 10 minutes.
Well, the House has been faced with a quorum hitch during the proceedings of its business. Before that point of order by the Honorable Member for Machakos County to alert the chairperson. The House was considering, or was at the committee of the whole House, considering the President's reservations to the Cancer Prevention and Control Amendment Bill, a bill originating from the National Assembly and sponsored by the Honorable Rahim Dawood, and some of the concerns that the members were looking at include clause 2, clause 3, as well as clause 4. However, the business has been cut short owing to the quorum hitch, and as you can see, very few members are inside the House. The decision of this particular bill, or the reservations on the vote, just requires a simple majority, owing to the fact that, as provided in the law, if there are any members who are looking to shoot down the amendments or the reservations or the recommendations as proposed by the President, will require 2/3, that is 233 members. However, the House as it stands now does not have enough members, and perhaps cannot be able to raise it now, as had been indicated earlier by the Deputy Leader of the Majority Party, indicating that if the member who has sponsored the bill does not agree with the President's recommendations to the bill and wants the recommendations to be shut down, then he ought to have mobilized members to be able to get to the chambers and at least have enough members, more than 233, to be able to take a vote on the recommendations and to decide on the way in which he has given his position regarding the recommendations that are being considered on the floor of the House. However, with the number not present, then that would have just required a simple majority However, the member for Machakos County rose a point of order to inform the chairperson, Honorable Rachel Nyamai, that the House, much as it's proceeding with its business, there is a quorum hitch during the proceedings of the House. This is as provided for in the House Standing Order number 35-1, which indicates that a member may rise on a point of order to inform the chairperson or the speaker that the House is lacking quorum, either during considerations of a business at the committee of the whole or during the normal plenary sitting. So right now is that the House is facing that particular quorum hitch, and the chairperson has directed that the bell be rung for 10 minutes. Normally, when the House is facing a quorum hitch, members who are present inside the chambers are normally not allowed to walk out. Of course, this is of course in line with the rules, and also not to jeopardize the already or the numbers that is already inside the House. And so members have to stick inside the chamber and allow the quorum bell to be on for those who are outside the chamber to be alerted that their presence inside the chambers is highly required, so that they can be able to make their way inside the chamber. And that bell is on for 10 minutes. Once that quorum is achieved, then the House will be able to continue with the business that was on the floor of the House. That was the consideration of the reservations, President's reservation regarding the Cancer Prevention and Control Amendment Bill, a bill originating from the National Assembly and sponsored by the Honorable Member Rahim Dawood. Standing Order number 35, paragraph 1, which talks about the quorum during the proceedings of the House, indicate that if at any time after the chair is taken or when the House is in a committee, which is the situation now, a member objects that there is not a quorum present, the Speaker or the chairperson shall count the members in the House or the committee, as the case may be. In this case, that is the committee of the whole House. Paragraph 2, if on the count under paragraph 1 a quorum does not appear to be present, the Speaker or the chairperson shall cause the division bell to be rung as on a division, and if no quorum is present at the expiration of the 10 minutes, subparagraph A indicates that if the Speaker is in the chair, the Speaker shall adjourn the House until the next sitting, and if the House is in a committee, the chairperson shall leave the chair and report the fact to the Speaker, who shall adjourn the House until the next sitting without a question put. Paragraph 3 indicates that whenever the Speaker or the chairperson, as the case may be, is engaged in counting the House or the committee respectively, the doors shall remain unlocked, but no member shall be allowed to leave the chamber except a party whip, who may be permitted to leave the chamber to seek the members required to raise the quorum. That is what I had indicated earlier, that at such a case, when the House is looking for quorum, then no member is allowed to walk out of the chamber except for the whips of both sides, that is the majority side or the minority side, are allowed to walk out of the chamber. And this is, of course, to whip members who may be within the precincts of Parliament and not inside the chamber to make their way inside the chamber and enable the House raise that much needed quorum for the business that has been stopped to be able to continue, stopped owing to that particular quorum hitch to be able to continue. But also the same standing order indicates that if the House is in committee, the chairperson shall leave the chair. That is, if the quorum is not raised at the lapse of the 10-minute quorum bell. If the House is in committee, the chairperson shall leave the chair and report the fact to the Speaker, who shall adjourn the House until the next sitting without a question put. So we are waiting to see how the situation will be, if the House will be able to raise that quorum or if it will fail.
I order that the bell be stopped. Honorable members, we are unable to attain quorum. I will therefore proceed to report the fact to the Speaker. I thank you.
Chairperson, proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to report that while in the Committee of the Whole House, the Honorable Member for Machakos County, Honorable Joyce Kamene, raising under Standing Order 35, objected that the House did not have quorum. Having rung the bell for 10 minutes, quorum was not attained. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report.
Honorable members, as you are aware, that when that happens, then we will have to adjourn. And therefore, honorable members, time, please be all you upstanding. Members, be upstanding. Order. And the time now being 17 minutes to 12, this House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, the 13th of August, 2025, at 2:30 p.m.
A bill that seeks to provide a legal framework to help mothers who may wish to breastfeed in their workplaces. And thank you for joining us. You are live on KBC Radio Taifa, you are live on Bunge TV, and you are live on Parliament of Kenya YouTube. Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for your time.
You're welcome.
You are sponsoring a bill that seeks to provide for framework on mothers who may wish to breastfeed their children at workplace. And my question is, what was the motivation behind you coming up with this bill?
I think mine was a personal experience because I got a baby when I was in this parliament. And it was very difficult for me to either rush home, go breastfeed, because our maternity leave is same 3 months. And for me, I believe in exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. And so at some point, I had to pump my milk, store it, or give it out so that it can be taken home to be stored in a fridge. So even if I expressed my milk here, it was very hard to even save it because we did not have then place where the lactating mothers could stay. And so when I started this bill from the first, it was 11th Parliament. This bill went all the way, it was passed by Parliament, but when it went to the Senate, it died there. I think then 20, again on the 12th Parliament, I started this bill. Again, it went all the way, and because it was coming through the Health Committee, went to the Senate, it died there. But this time, we passed the bill through social protection. So I would just want to thank the Chair, Honorable Alice Kanga, and the team. They did a very fantastic job. They involved all the stakeholders. And now we are ready. We did our second reading. We concluded yesterday. So next week it will just be question to be put. And we go for third reading. There are a few amendments that have been recommended by stakeholders. And we are hoping by the end of this, actually by the end of this term, we'll have achieved. By next 2 months, we are hoping that that bill will be law.
Okay, what was the challenge in Senate?
You see, when a bill was, it came through the Health Committee. The health is devolved. So when it went to Senate, what happens is that the Senate almost starts afresh. And I think that's why the two speakers have been speaking. They start afresh looking for, again, stakeholders and the process, a process of coming up with a bill. Until then, there is consensus. So time elapsed. For both time, I think the Senate didn't find it as a priority. And you can understand maybe this is the only time they have younger members who are there. Basically, compared to the National Assembly has more younger members. And this is not just a bill for the members of parliament, it's a bill for a person who is traveling in a matatu, a person who is mama mboga in the market. And I would also want to really appreciate the current government through the leadership of William Ruto, because now all the markets, the model markets that we are doing, I have noticed that lactation room is actually provided for. So that means if it is a mama mboga, you can do your work, you can go breastfeed, and then you can go back. And so this now, I will also challenge the county governments that they can even get social workers to come and assist these children so that the mama mboga doesn't have to leave her child at home unattended or with the house girl. She can be doing her work, and then they're in a safe place. There are organizations like Safaricom who already have such rooms. Theirs it's actually advanced because theirs you can go with your child, you can go with your house girl, and the productivity becomes more. But internationally, even if you go to our national airports, the JKIA, you'll find that if a mother is traveling with a baby, unless you enter a toilet, you'll find like a small table there. That's the only place you can change the diaper. And if you have to breastfeed, you have to just to sit on those forms and just go somewhere and breastfeed. But internationally, if you go to all these other airports, you'll find there are well clear labeled rooms for lactating mothers. Some of them even are advanced. You have a machine. If you had forgotten diapers or you need to change and you had not carried your bag, maybe you left it far, you can be able to purchase a diaper change. If you want to express your milk, you can express your milk. So it is actually something that I said, in this town, you have seen smoking zones. If we can have smoking areas in the town, for
Then
sure,
we should
even at the matatu stage, bus stop, many mothers travel with their children. You can have a lactating room. A mother can breastfeed in privacy, can change the diaper, and they will feel free. So the bill says any building that has at least 30 people going up should have one room. That means all these tall buildings, even KICC, you only need one room. So you don't need to have every floor or every company coming up with a lactating mother's room. So if you're in a building, it's just to make sure that the owner of the building, there's that one room that is for mothers who have children. They can go there, express their milk in safety. And breastfeeding is key. I always like to remind mothers that the first 1,000 days in a child's life determines the life of that child, whether they are going to be falling sick every time, whether they're going to have stunted growth, whether, even their brain development. The first 1,000 days are most important. And in the child, from the time a child is born, to 6 months, exclusive breastfeeding is recommended. Don't even give water, don't even give anything, just breast milk. It is enough. It is have enough immunization. It is the nutrition, everything is balanced. So that's why you find children will get colic or something, because some mothers will think my child is not getting full. So you want to add cow milk. Cow milk, that milk cannot be digested by that baby because the digestive system has not yet grown well. Or even this formula milk that we give our children. Sometimes even the people who mix that milk for you or for the child might not do the right way. So to avoid all this, and also formula milk is very expensive. Breast milk is for free. And I'm telling young girls, breastfeeding is fashionable. Don't be told that your breast will fall. Whether you breastfeed or not, they'll still fall. These are natural occurrences that come in. And once you are done with the issue of breastfeeding and bring up your children, nowadays you can still go back and there's something you can do. You can go back and you can, people are doing a makeover. So being a mother is very, 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 very important. And especially taking care of that small child. Giving that breast milk, you have changed the life of that child. And so that's why I came up with this bill. It has gotten a lot of support. And I'm hoping when you go for that reading, the amendments are not really major amendments. It's just a matter of maybe some adding a month or something. We didn't do the complexity. Because some countries actually, they say you can go for 3 months maternity leave and you can go for other 3 months on half pay, so that you can have 6 months exclusive breastfeeding. So we didn't really want to push it further. But I know with time, we can actually achieve it. Here in Parliament, we have very many young girls who are employed. So apart from that, a small, mother's room that is on the other side of the road, even this house, I'm hoping by the time we pass a bill, the Speaker in the Parliamentary Service Commission will manage to give us one of the rooms near here. You see, around here, around where we have the small dining, actually the small dining area, that one can be a very nice lactating room so that I can be going on with my motion, I can rush out and breastfeed and come back. And some parliaments, like I think it's Austria, we have seen UK, both houses, they have allowed even mothers to come in with their small babies. So you can walk in if you wish. It's not mandatory. You can walk in with your child. You can listen into a motion or you can contribute. We have seen members of parliament contribute when they are holding their babies. So it is very important because I think one of the members, Honorable Zuleka, attempted one day to come with a baby here in Parliament, and it was a lot of drama saying there's a stranger in the house. So we are growing, we are learning, but we want to say let us allow our children, and especially the young ones, to breastfeed exclusively for 6 months. If you're able to breastfeed for 2 years, some even breastfeed even for 4 or 5. It is okay.
And what does a typical lactation room look like?
It's simple. A room like where we are, it has to be spacious a bit and then airy so that the mother is also comfortable. I normally say when you want to milk a cow, you normally first make it comfortable. So you'll have some warm water and then you will feed it a little bit. So if a mother can be able to nibble something as it needs to be relaxed. Because you can imagine if you're in a toilet, it is messy, it is smelling, you cannot even manage, So it's just clean with a table and comfortable chairs. Preferably if they will get the chairs where a mother can be able to relax and sit down. And then there's a table and then a small fridge so that